But has it been done?
Oh, sure.
Like because of boredom, actors will just go off on a tangent.
Yes. Writers, it's you have friends, you have good friends who will hide the body. You have great friends who will read the first draft of your script.
Right.
And they're really good friends. It's very courageous to put it print it out and then share it with somebody. That sharing is very risky. It is, for some people, it is a terrifying thing. It is like it came from your soul. You're giving it to somebody. Maybe it's your best friend, or maybe it's a stranger. And if they laugh at it or they say, I didn't understand. I don't know what you're saying. It can cripple you.
Welcome to the Paco's Place podcast.
Visit abbaeservices.com for fast medical transcription service. This podcast episode is brought to you by AB Music Creative.
And the podcast will begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, back at Paco's Place, Mr. Dom Magwili.
Yay!
How are you, Dom?
I'm well. It's only been a couple of months.
That's fine because there are a lot of things to talk about.
Yeah.
And off mic, we were talking about Jennifer Paz.
Oh,
and then I also told you that my wife wants to be in theater and all these things happening. And you mentioned that it's everybody can sing. That's fine. We're Filipinos. We can say representation is okay.
Yeah.
However, the deal breaker or deal maker is the consistency of showing up. Can you explain that?
If you're doing theater and you're doing a play with music, it usually is more than one off. It's more than one time. You get a lot of people who can perform one time and they're really good. But when you're doing theater, whether you are a small theater, 99 seats, or you're doing one of these 500, 600 seat houses, you do very high quality work and you're charging people $20, $30, $40, $50 to sit. Can the performer perform at a high level many times a week?
Many times a week. Like sometimes twice a day?
For like maybe Saturday and Sunday.
Wow.
Yeah, on Broadway, it is 8 times a week.
How can you perform 8 times a week when you only have 7 days?
2 of those, like Saturday, 2 shows.
Wow.
Sunday, maybe 2 shows.
Wow. So no life.
No, you work very hard. And when you're young, when you're a young actor and you're getting paid big money or bigger money than you've ever had before.
That's your life.
Oh yeah, but after the show goes down, then, it can be one long party. A friend of mine, a veteran actor who's passed away now, his name is Alvin. Alvin would tell these young actors, save your money. Save it because you don't know. There may be days when you don't have this gig. So don't spend it all everything. That was his wisdom.
Is it big money, really?
Well, it's bigger than what they got through unemployment.
Like ballpark. Like how much do you make a month? If you were a character, not a bit role player in a play, but if you're a character actor in a play.
I don't know. I can tell you, like in Miss Saigon, and this is chorus actors back in the day, and this is in the 70s.
70s.
About $1,000 a week.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah. Young people who have only gotten unemployment check and they're getting $1,000 a week, Vegas or Atlantic City. So Alvin would say, save your money, save it for those times. You are not as flush as you are right now. This is a gift. So don't fritter it away. So it's very wise.
Now, the discipline involved.
Being able to repeat every night. We saw a production of Hamilton over the Pantages, and I really liked the show, but I made the mistake of seeing the video clips too often. So when I see it live, it's like, I know it's coming. It's like, oh. So what I saw, I did not get lost in the story. I got caught up in the technique of making the show. I watched the choreography of the actors, where they moved. I listened to their voices. I listened to them working. And observed how, like, certain actors, like, they stood out because there was a quality of performance or personality, and an audience, like, responded to that. I also saw, I don't know how many times they had already done this show, 400 or 500 times, that they can hit the mark, they can say the line, but it does not necessarily full of the meaning that had the first time. So like first time they did it, to be or not to be, that is the question. 500 shows is to be or not to be, that is the question.
So they're changing the intonation.
It becomes it's like when you're playing a song that's your hit song, but you've been playing it all the time.
Yes.
She loves you, yeah. But you're doing it. This is your 800 performance of that song.
Changing the
keeping it alive. How do you keep that alive? And actors who get caught in a long show, that is their challenge. The challenge is like, how do you make it the first time? And they are. I think they are obligated to make it look like it is their first time. To the audience who doesn't know, like, oh, that's wonderful. To people who have seen the show before or have seen it 2 or 3 times, they can tell, oh, that's different. That's interesting. That wasn't so good. That was astounding. You begin to tell variance in performance. And that is itself like a muscle. Consistent performance at a high level 8 times a week is a muscle. There is a 1 year at the Tonys, Neil Patrick Harris is doing this song, and he talks about actors creating miracles 8 times a week on Broadway. He's because that's what they're trained to do. You want a miracle? We can do that 8 times a week. We can give you magic on stage, live, and they do. But it takes profound amount of skill, a lot of talent, and then a little elbow room. Quincy Jones would say, intellectual analysis is all well and good, but you got to leave a little room for God to walk through.
Yeah.
Well, got to leave a little room for God to walk through, to be or not to be. That didn't come. You didn't do that last night. You did that tonight.
Those are not ad libs, no. Those are
but it is variation.
Those are moments that
different actors, different styles. And sometimes they'll throw in stuff that isn't in the script, but it's either noise, or if they actually throw in a line. What did you say? What? Yeah. Be very careful that all of a sudden you're writing a new play.
Right?
Yeah. And this reminds me of a very funny story, and you go off and like you don't want to do that.
But has it been done?
Oh, sure.
Like because of boredom, actors will just go off on a tangent.
Yes.
And in your head, if I'm acting with you in my head, I'm going, what the heck are you doing?
Oh, seriously.
Have you worked with someone like that?
Yeah, not opening night. It was, we were doing a show and an actor came on, and he's a younger actor, but he suddenly had a beard that he never had before. and we're singing the song, and I turn and I didn't take to it real well. I said, what the hell? I'm old school like that. I said, if director didn't put it there, what are you doing? He said, I want to keep it more alive. I was fine before. You didn't have to do that. It's like, what am I wanting? What was my line? I'm sorry. Things like that. Live theater has all the miracles of live performance, but it also has all the dark stuff too. It has.
Tell us about the dark stuff.
The dark stuff. So we're toward the end of a play. It's a very heroic play, and our leading young man is going through his final lines before he's shot and killed. Meanwhile, we background actors, we're sitting there, and he's working, and I can hear the other actors going, "Come on, let's go."
Oh my God.
Let's go, come on. I want to watch the fights tonight, come on. I have to do shopping after the show. Let's go on, come on, no dragging. It can be dark like that, and that's sad. I like to play. I like to play in that world.
Yes.
I don't want to really like check out and worry about if I've put gas in the car tonight. Like that.
Like you want to live in that moment because you're in that moment.
Well, yeah, that's why you became an actor, I thought.
Right.
But when you've been doing it a long time, maybe it doesn't kick the same way it did before. Like you got to get a new drug, you got to get a new way of dealing with it. So sometimes you can see stuff that just are brilliant. Like, where did it come from? How did they say that? What was going on? And sometimes, God. Or, a lot of talking backstage.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Wait, talking or talking backstage?
Well, Filipinos aren't the only ones who do chismis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, actors like, he's saying it again. Listen to that.
Okay. Because you guys are a company,
Yeah.
familiarity breeds contempt. Does that exist?
Yes.
Big time?
Oh, big time. I can't measure that, but not everybody is kind. Not everybody, sometimes.
Are you kind toward the newbie?
Some are. Some grind the newbie. It's always hard when you're the rookie coming in or you're the new person coming in.
Have you written a play about being
On stage?
in a play? The Rookie. That's nice.
Oh, well, no, I didn't think about that. You just gave me an idea.
Right?
Yeah.
Talking about what we're talking about. Oh, Dom.
Hey. Yes, I'm old now. I can tell the truth.
Right?
Yeah.
The Rookie.
Oh.
What's your new read now? What book are you reading now?
I don't read books unless they're textbooks and I have to know something. I am listening to books about writing. There is a series called Save the Cat, and I'm listening to it to be inspired in my own writing. Another book that I have that I'm listening to is Walter Mosley's E.Z. Rollins Detective Mysteries. It's his most recent one. I've been following him since he came out with Devil with a Blue Dress, and enjoyed it. He came to see. We did a production by Jessica Hagedorn called Dog Eaters, and we did it at the Kirk Douglas Theater, and he was in the audience, and he came up to me, and and you're Walter Mosley, and I dropped to one knee, and I said, "Thank you for coming." I think.
Did he know you were a fan?
No, I think he got the idea after that. Because writers create worlds that, my goodness, to worlds I've never been to before.
Yeah.
And I don't think those thoughts, I don't say those words, but I'm hearing it now.
Right.
And it's wonderful. It's really wonderful. So, those successful writers, I don't have my hat on, but I would take my hat off to them.
Now, as a writer, when you're speaking with another writer, are you just having a plain conversation, or are you picking their brains out as you guys are having conversations?
Day to day to a writer, it's a day-to-day conversation. Hey, those Lakers, right? Those Lakers, wow, yeah.
You guys don't talk shop?
Oh, yeah. When it's business, like, did your agent call you about this? They didn't call me. Wow, I wonder what's going on. Or, and this is really hard. It says, I just finished a chapter. Do you have time to maybe look at it? And usually I'll get.
And that's okay.
It's okay to ask, but I don't know if, like, writers. It's you have friends. You have good friends who will hide the body. You have great friends who will read the first draft of your script.
Right.
And they're really good friends.
If they read the first draft.
Yeah. It's a lot.
How's it work? It's the first draft, then the first rewrite, then the second, third, fourth. And
then you just keep writing until it makes sense
The
to
first
you.
draft is never perfect, no?
Oh, if they've mastered it that way, well, it's interesting. In the industry, like TV, movies, I remember dealing with a guy who is, I think he was head of development. He's a writer, but he would claim to write like a TV script, one pass, perfect.
What?
well, I don't know how perfect, but one pass and he hands it in. How good it is, it's,
Right.
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
I think they do that in the Philippines. Like Jose Javier Reyes, one of the best directors and writers in the Philippines, because they do some movie for TV, like an hour long.
Uh-huh.
He'd have a log line and write a draft and shoot the day after, just like that.
One, time. Two, no, not big budget. Three, let's keep going because we got another script next week.
Yeah, something like that.
So it's practicality. It's that's what makes like a movie like a classic like Casablanca so amazing.
Are you serious? Just one draft?
Well, I don't know one draft. A lot of writers got their hands on it, but Casablanca was one movie in a line of many, many, many movies, and that this one would be the classic. Is sort of like the perfect storm.
Right.
It worked out. The actors worked. The themes worked. The storyline worked. It is like you've got these TV shows, and they've got you got 22 episodes this year. Go, and some of them no, but some of them like I liked it. I like what we did here. What's next week, and when you allow time, if you have enough time, it becomes a different thing. If you have no time and you're on a schedule and you've got 5 other shows, 5 other stories or plays or scripts coming up, you do the best you can with the time you have and you move on, because you really don't have to. Can we bring that back? Can we do? No, because you've got another script waiting. So you got to keep that rolling. It becomes very industrial.
Yes.
Like that.
Your mindset when you're writing a play, when you're writing,
Yes.
do you take the time? I know we talked about this the last time, but I just want to expound on it.
Yeah.
And with our age, time's not good to us, right? So when you write, you have all these ideas. I know you have your own little space now at your place, but But do you write and take your time writing, or let me just get everything out?
Well, it's like what's your style in writing a song? Different styles. And I follow. There's this playwright. I think it was John Guare who wrote House of Blue Leaves. I attribute it to him, but maybe he didn't say it. But he writes fast and he throws away quick.
Really?
It's like da-na-na-na-na-na. There it is. Okay, let's go. And so urgency is a big part of his style. Other writers write nothing, but they take a lot of walks in the park, or they do a lot of window shopping. But in their head, they're see, writers can do this. They're saying, no, I don't think I want to open with at their home. I think he should be on a trip or something. and you're working it, and nothing has been written yet. Nothing has been put down in paper.
But you're creating the scene in your head.
Well, you're creating the whole thing if you want to do that, and then you decide, I've got some time. We're going to go up to Tahoe. I'll use that time that weekend. I'll put it all in, and boom, it comes in, and it's like a whole piece. Some people can write like that. My wife can write like that. She doesn't do anything. Then all of a sudden, and there's characters. Ooh. There's drama. There's great humanity in her writing. Me, I write and no, we'll do it again. And for me, the style is, it's like an outline, do it again, and a little clearer, do it again, it comes more into focus, do it again, and that's too much, clear out a whole half, write it again, and that's better. So rewrite is where I live. I do a lot of rewriting. I'm doing rewriting now. I'm reading through it and thinking, really, do I want to say that? It's taking up a lot of space.
Okay. I get that part. Yeah.
My style is I'm hoping my sensibility. I'm hoping I have a good ear for what's going on in my story, because sometimes I'm thinking, it seems too much. It seems like I'm the story's like a trail, and all of a sudden I go like here, and then I come back. Yeah, and then they come back.
Like this too much thing is too much.
Yeah. It's like
too deep.
I might as well write another story if it's going out this far. I'm very aware of that, and I don't know.
But sometimes this is the juicy part, no? It's like
yes, and you've heard the term "you kill your darlings."
yeah.
It's like, well, don't throw it away. What do you call it when you're clip that off, file it away. You may come back. Paul Simon. I don't think he throws away a rhyme or a lyric. He just files it away. No, that doesn't work. But another time.
How about this? George Lucas.
Oh,
started with episode 4, but wrote it from episode 1 all the way to 6. But he was like, wait a minute, episode 1, 2, 3 kind of drags too much. Let me start with 4, but never throw away 1, 2, 3.
That makes sense to me. I never thought I always thought that movie, what is it, 5, 6, 5?
Yeah. 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3.
See, 4, 5, 6 made the biggest impact for our whole generation.
Yes.
It was not common. It was not average. I was in theaters and people are screaming at that opening moment. In the balcony, I'm hearing yelling. I'm in San Francisco at a movie theater, and people are screaming at this. We never saw it before. We never saw it, and it took us as this culture to this other place.
Right?
Why? And it occurs to me now that you mention it that he really liked 4, 5, 6. He said of all his chapters, that seems to be the best that he's got right now. Mm-hmm. Let's shoot it. Let's shoot 4. 4. And then maybe we get lucky and we get to shoot 5. I don't know.
But isn't it amazing, no? And then you go back to 1. You know what? I've tripped on it. I've watched it from 1 to 6, 7, 8.
What do you think of that? If you start at the beginning of this, I didn't do well with 1, 2, 3. I was like, oh, okay. And the challenge for writers, I think, all the time, is because we're always changing. Just because I did it right today doesn't mean I'll do it right tomorrow, because my whole deal is different. It's in the movie business, there was no promise that George was going to get to do the
rest of the
5,
or even the 6, or even the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Well,
whatever.
You hope. There's the hope for that, but that wasn't promised, and particularly after the first one. I don't know. There were people, executives, who saw the first, number 5, and they said, "I don't get it. I fell asleep somewhere. I'm sorry, but I don't get it." But they don't represent the audience or the public about what they see, and it's amazing to them. It is a wonderful thing to see an audience get enraptured with storytelling in a movie house. Mm-hmm. I've seen that with Star Wars. I've seen that with the Marvel movies, particularly like Endgame. Just like
that was nice.
Oh, it was. They have video clips. They have video clips of people, audience reaction when the big battle happens, and you're hearing audiences scream.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gold. That is forever gold, because they're caught up, not just the story of the scene, but they're caught up with the characters. They're caught up with the history.
Yeah.
They're there. So at the end of this movie, I'm going to the men's room. I finish my business. I look, and there's this kid, and he's looking into the mirror, and he's just looking at it. And I figure something is going on with him. I will not talk to him about it. It's just like, pretend it's not, I'm not. But it was deep for him. It was, at another time, he might have been going through some kind of trance or something, but he was into that experience. That for a writer or a storyteller, you could die now and go to heaven. Because
Imagine, yeah. Go ahead.
No, but that it is. This is where English is not good enough to describe what's going on in your soul when this stuff hits. And now, after that chunk of movies, what is it, 23 movies? Mm-hmm. Now, after Endgame, Marvel is trying to capture lightning in a bottle again. And, they were lucky the first time. And there's no promise that they're going to get it the second. They're trying to do the same formula, but, that may not have been the formula. They just might have gotten lucky. I saw this analysis of the Harry Potter franchise. It was like 8 movies. How amazing is it that they could do these 7, 8 movies and finish at a fairly high level?
Yes.
It was Game of Thrones didn't end up that way. I think the 8th season was like
dragging yourself to watch it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was an effort to finish it up, which is, if you're an audience, it's like you want the perfect romance.
Yeah.
You want it to end, whatever you have in your head and how you want this romance to end. That's how you want to experience the final movie, the final episode.
And just
you
go,
want to
wow.
Yeah, exactly. And that didn't happen there. I think it happened in Endgame for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It was their first experience with, if life could be this complete. It was a major feast of human experience with all these cartoon comic book characters. But they spent 23 movies building a relationship. Hey, Tony Stark, you know Tony Stark. Yeah, I know Tony Stark. How about that Steve Rogers guy? Yeah, I remember Steve Rogers. Yeah, I could tell you about him. Oh yeah, I can tell you about it. And Thor, my God. So
even the relationship between Thor and the Hulk. Oh my God.
Funny, but they did it really well.
Yeah.
It was very good storytelling for a long period of time, and then they paid it off.
Yes.
And occasionally, I think, sometimes long-running series, some TV shows, they finish it off, and it's like, good. This was a good experience. Thank you for the full trip. Appreciate it. Some, not so good.
When there's Band-Aid, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like something happened behind the scene.
Yeah.
Now we're watching it. They're trying to sell it to us, but it's basically a script with Band-Aids on it, trying to tell us, we're not killing off a character, but more like, they went to school somewhere else, but we know what the real story is in real life. Those kind of stories.
Well, I use the description, it poisons the well.
Oh.
It's like,
yeah.
you really can't go back to it. You can't go back to when it was good because it left a bad taste in your mouth.
There's an old TV show that I used to watch. It's called Suits.
Yes. That was the show that Meghan Markle was in?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice show, but I couldn't, I remember not being able to digest the 9th season.
Oh.
I don't want to give spoilers, but 1 to 8, I was so invested in it. I had to drag my eyes and the rest of my mind to finish the 9th season.
When did it go bad? Somewhere in the 8th?
Somewhere in the 8th. To me, the 8th was different. The 8th, because the 8th was when Meghan got married to Prince Harry.
In real life?
In real life.
Was she still in the show when all that happened? I'm asking. I don't know.
Spoiler alert, she wasn't in the show.
Okay.
Because, of course.
She left. She got married.
Right now, but they had to write that in the show.
Life intruded. Yeah.
And to me, that's a Band-Aid script,
Yeah.
I'm trying to buy it as an audience, but I know what's going on.
And then pulls you out of, this is storytelling, that's real life. Oh, let's watch real life.
Right? So those things.
Yeah. The business of telling a story, if you can get it and you can lock up your audience, it is a thrill. TV, movies, it is a thrill, and it pays well. It pays well with audience number. It pays well monetarily. It pays well for everybody. It's like it is a good experience. When it doesn't go well, one, probably doesn't last very long, or two, it becomes a bad marriage. It starts out well, and then for some reason it doesn't work out.
You guys remember that strike that happened? Is it done?
The actor strike is still on.
Still on.
The producers have left the table and they're playing hardball. And it is my hope.
This still about AI?
Well, it's a big part of it. There are more specific issues that I'm not well versed to talking about. But in the end, I believe particularly is that if an actor shows and you pay him once, you pay him
for the rest in perpetuity.
In perpetuity. If you use their face, use their voice, you got to pay him. And sometimes some producers don't bother asking. They'll just take. I like that face. Let's take that, and we'll just and actors say, I didn't do that show. How did I get on that show? Or they hear their voice and I never worked there. How did this happen? But you sign something when the fine print says, and we can use your image or your voice in other promotional material.
Facebook has that.
No, I didn't know that.
On their fine print.
Oh, no, I did not know that.
Yeah, please feel free to fact check me, community. But I remember Facebook coming out with new terms and conditions that everything that's on there they could use for
promotional material. Mm-hmm. That's not good.
Now, imagine if that happened to your body of work, no? Like something that you've written.
I worked for a guy. It was like low budget movie making. And before he got a chance to open it or to launch it, it ended up on YouTube.
What?
Exactly. And when that happened, he pulled out it was low budget movie making, but he pulled out because he couldn't control the product. If it can just sort of appear, then he just lost his product. He just lost his effort. He just lost the reason why he wanted to make this movie.
Right.
That stuff exists. The answer to such things is you got to get really old school. You got to be in a place where the technology, you can use it as a tool. I think it's very it is amazing tools, but if you use artists' work with your tools and don't pay your artists, that becomes problematic. That becomes a deal. And there are other issues of the company is making so much money and the actors receive very low amount. I still get residuals from stuff that I've done since the 70s, and you can always tell when I'm getting checks from the old contract because they're still in dollars. Not a whole lot of dollars, but like $10, $20. Oh, old contract. Then you see these like 50 cents, 35 cents on new contract.
Oh my God. It's that small now, the royalty.
Sometimes you will get a check where the postage is more than what is 00, and the postage is, what is it now, 50 cents?
Wow.
It's hence the strike.
Oh yeah.
And actors' point of view, we're asking pennies on the dollar. Come on.
Right.
And you're making billions.
Where's the heart?
Well, now see, I have an opinion about that.
I want to hear it.
Well, the opinion is producers are doing this because they can get away with it. There is a situation where I don't need actors. I'll have AI create the image of the actors. I don't need writers. I'll have ChatGPT write up a script. Now, ChatGPT may not write a great script, but it's kind of okay. And the AI can create an actor who doesn't move like a human being, but it's close enough. If the audience will not accept that, if the culture will not accept human beings, non-human beings in performance, then the values are that's not good enough. We're not going to watch that movie. We're not going to watch that TV show. We're just not going to watch that stuff. We want to see human beings.
Right.
We want to hear human beings. We want it like that. Then the culture will protect the live performer.
However,
If it's good enough, then it's good enough. And what the live performers do, what they bring to the table, maybe is not that important to the audience. There exists these video clips. They're kind of generic stories. The generic stories like, and Sally grew up in an orphanage. Then she grew up to be an adult and was working in this office. And then she ran into this woman who turns out to be her mom. And it's like that. But it isn't specific. It's just sort of this generic storytelling. And they'll use photos that I've seen before in Google Pics.
Stock photos.
Stock photos. And they're not even consistent. They'll... Sally, who lives in Wisconsin, and she's European, and yet I'll see an African-American face because they're doing the right gesture. So there is no craft to what they're doing.
No.
There's no consistency. It's just like, do it there. But if the audience will come back to it, then what's the problem?
I agree.
And so...
It's a bad thing, but yeah.
But I reference you as a live performer. People who come to listen to a band, that is a big deal. This is not Spotify. This is not listening to your CD. This is listening and watching you live.
Yeah, perform.
They value live energy, live
Right.
voice. That is a big deal. People who go to theater, same thing. I'm a big fan of older time wrestling, but I would watch Dwayne Johnson when he was doing The Rock, and he's going through his catchphrases, and he's doing his show to a like 30 or 40,000 people, and can you smell it? And they're chanting with him. At last, The Rock has come back to Atlantic City, and they're just chanting with him.
Amazing, no?
It is amazing.
It's organic.
It's organic. It is all the values that we put to, and that's why we want to see actors. Tom Cruise is really flying off a cliff at this motorcycle, and he does have this parachute, and he does open it up. That's him. Not since Jackie Chan have we seen an actor throw their body on the line like that. And so the audience will go, oh, crap, Tom's really doing it.
Yeah.
And so it sort of augments his story. Yeah, it's about a secret agent and he's doing this, but Tom's really doing that. Wow.
Isn't that amazing when those things happen? While you're telling me the story, I'm beginning to conclude that, oh my God, live performance as a musician, live performance as an actor.
Yes.
That's the only way you can combat AI.
Yeah, because it's a different world. It is a different world like that. What they'll try to do is, no, don't see him live. We can give you something on your computer. It's not bad. It's pretty good. It isn't anybody human. And the song wasn't written by anybody human.
Oh my God, yeah.
But it's close enough. And, you can dance to it. You can move to it. So if the audience will not stand for that, then you have a deterrent to what's going on right now. I go back to Frank Herbert wrote a book called Dune, and they have Dune,
okay.
the sand and everything.
Yeah.
There is in their history, they had a problem with AI, with computers, so that after that encounter between human beings and computers, they had this phrase, no machine shall resemble the mind of man.
Wow.
So what they have is they have human beings, because of drugs, their brain is such that they become human computers. But they do not use machines anymore. They use tools. They use all that stuff. They have spaceships. They have all the machinery, but not computers. That is not part of their deal. And I look at that, and I'm looking at what we're going through now.
Oh my God, yeah.
The tools are amazing. AI can create amazing things. Sometimes I will see on the internet a beautiful image of this young woman created by AI, and it's like it's like no. It's, you want to see. I want to know this person lives.
Right?
You know, I want to know that person lives, that I could bump into this person.
Yes.
In real life. Otherwise, I could do this drawing. You know, I just, or use your imagination. But
even a scenic spot. I mean,
something, and it's created by AI. Well, then you'll have to go to Hawaii or some other. Go to the Philippines and see something that is organically, authentically what nature has created, not something mechanical. I have also observed, I was watching one of these talent show competitions, I think America's Got Talent.
Yeah.
And I'm watching this kid, young kid, maybe he's 10 or 11, and he's doing robotic stuff. And I realize how much we admire dancers who essentially replicate mechanical movement. You know,
the strut,
yeah. And it's like, and they do it to rhythm, and they're dancing, but it's their invention and sometimes their impulse to create. Their bodies get into these. How do they turn that? You know, how do they do that? And like, when they get older, are their knees shot? I look at that and you know, and I reach for my elbow, and I go, oh God. But they do it with vigor and energy, and sometimes you get a bunch of them. You got 20 young people on stage
doing everything at the same time, no?
In choreography.
Yeah,
and it's like, wow. I just find it interesting that we admire that so much. But it's still live performance, replicating machinery, but it makes it more important because people do get tired.
Yeah.
People do make mistakes, human error, yet this group has precision together, and it becomes really attractive. It becomes admirable.
Amazing.
Yeah, well, I think we have to admire human endeavor because we are in some funny way of like the Terminator, machines taking over. Who else is going to admire human endeavor? Who else is left?
You think that whole, I digress, but you think that whole Terminator thing, that Skynet thing, you think that's around the corner?
It may already be here. I don't know about what they call sentient, like thinking machines. That gets scary.
I think it is, because our phones can listen. Like, did you ever observe you and your wife or you and your friends talking about something, and later on when you're on social media, the advertising
skews to that? Well, not us talking, but say I
think again, because
no. Oh, really?
Yeah, sometimes just
audibly.
Yes, like right now, let's say I'll say something later on. It'll.
No.
Yeah.
I understand it if I type it in and
that's like early 2000s, but now
I like skiing. Yes. And then you suddenly see
everything.
Go to Mammoth Mountain or something, and really,
Jay, right? Yeah.
Oh, then we moved into another level that I'm not prepared for.
That's why when you said sentient they're just trained to keep their mouth shut now. But sometimes JJ and I will be having a conversation and Siri would really go, I'm not sure about that.
Excuse me?
That's what we said.
Siri is joining the conversation?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Right now.
popped up just right now when you said Siri.
No, but here we never said Siri. Remember? We never said Siri. We were just talking about something.
And Siri joins
Yeah?
the conversation.
I'm not sure about that. The heck? And then guess what happened?
What happened?
Alexa laughed. No, just kidding. That part I was joking. I was joking on that part. But
See, but you're not far from it.
yes,
Well, then we're going to have to make choices
right?
individually and as a
Like, do we
as a
really
culture.
do we really want this? I remember back in 2010, I read the book, the the database of intent.
The database of intent. This is interesting. Yes.
It's about Google.
Okay.
Everything you put inside it talked about everything you put inside that search bar.
Yes.
Everything that you placed on that search bar
Yes.
goes into the database of intent. Oh, so deep. How many millions of intentions have been placed, right? When you're searching, there's an intent.
Yes.
So how many human beings have...
Well, the machines are keeping a record.
Yes.
But I would suggest to you that it is somebody human who dictates what the intent is.
Up until machine learning.
Well, somebody human says, "I want to
Yeah,
know who
yes.
is interested in hoodie jackets."
So now the database knows that someone is intending to know who is interested in hoodie jackets and how many of those people have searched that. And now the database of intent, which is a machine,
Yes,
now knows the demographics, where they are and who they are and their age. And
but who gives it value? I think is a human being.
yeah,
Unless they create. Well, now I want an algorithm to search out who's interested, what's interesting, and geographical region, and then start setting a campaign to sell those hoodies.
yes,
We'll do that right before Christmas.
yes,
So initially somebody constructs it, applies it, and then they walk away and they go fishing or something.
yeah.
Meanwhile, the machinery or the
It's learning,
algorithm
yeah.
is doing what they were told.
Until they start.
Until the person who was out fishing says, "I don't want to do that anymore. I want to do something else." How?
You know, there's a story, on that note, there's a story about the storyline of Terminator
Yes.
and how it happened. So Skynet was created to protect as a cybersecurity system to protect everything that Skynet owns, right?
Okay.
Fictional company and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Elon Musk was telling the storyline, I think, in one of his podcast guestings. Until he was instructed, until Skynet was instructed by its author to make sure that it stays protected or that it protects its asset.
Mm.
Okay. So it propagates all over the world and protects everything in it. And the author figures out that, wait a minute, the protection that you're doing to protect yourself is intrusive and you're overstepping what should be human assigned tasks.
Yes.
So the author of Skynet, Cyberdyne, says, you better stop what you're doing. But then again, there's an initial instruction for it to protect itself. And so it deemed the author and the human race the enemy. And that's the premise to the story
Oh my God!
of the Terminator.
Oh my God! We prophesied,
Right?
but it was a writer who figured that part out. Say so, doggone writers.
That's your world.
Yes, it is. Well, maybe we can prophesize something that's a solution to it.
I hope so.
Well, the Isaac Asimov, the 3 rules of robotics of make sure that no human comes in danger, protect yourself. He built in a moral code that would support humanity. This other stuff, I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, that was supposed to be the tenet of having robotics, right? But then again, iRobot.
Yes.
You know the movie?
Yeah.
The Will Smith movie?
Yeah.
One robot was accused of killing a human being.
Yeah.
Oh. Weird.
It
All these
is,
stories.
particularly where we are. I don't know if we have the capabilities, but we are really conscious right now. We're really conscious of, if Siri says, we'll make a comment, I can just see all these heads saying, what?
Yeah.
Did you say something? No, that came out of that. Turn it off.
Right?
And what if the machine says, I don't want to be turned off?
Exactly. That was.
Then so human beings have got to control the source of power.
Like what Apple did, right? There's no battery.
What?
No, I mean you can't remove the battery. Remember when our old cell phones?
Yeah.
Like if it hung, you just open the back.
Yeah.
You remove the battery.
Yeah.
You put it back in. You're okay.
Yeah.
I'm like looking at it going, smart, because even if it says it doesn't have any battery, the phone is still internally powered because it needs to keep the memory alive. So there's electricity running. It's just that you're not allowed to use it. What else is here? You can't just say, shh, quiet. Let's make sure, let's take out the battery. We can't do that anymore.
Oh, then I am dumbfounded. I don't have an answer for that.
I'm just realizing this right now as we're speaking. Huh?
Oh, well, I mean,
Because like you just said, yeah, Siri, turn it off. What if it doesn't want to turn off?
well,
And I'm looking at this
now
and I'm
you have
going,
a story. Well, no, you're
then
a creative person.
I don't know how to write yet.
Well, you write songs. You can write story.
That's a good premise, though.
Yeah,
Turn off. Now we have the rookie and we have turn off.
yeah.
Movies. How many movies have you done? Appeared in?
Appeared. Oh God,
A
not
lot.
a lot. I have mostly appeared in TV shows. I can tell you, I was in 50 First Dates.
Oh,
I was.
wait. 51st Dates?
Yes, I was a security guard in 50 First Dates.
In Hawaii?
No,
Where?
no, San Pedro.
They didn't even take you to Hawaii?
That is a sore point on my part. I don't want to talk about that. They took everybody in the restaurant to Hawaii. They didn't take the security guard at the sanitarium and then those people to Hawaii. I stayed here. So we don't want to talk about it.
Okay, what else?
I'm still bitter about that. 50-50. It was a buddy film with RoboCop and Airplane. RoboCop, Peter Weller.
Peter Weller.
And Airplane, Robert Hayes.
Okay.
And I did that. We shot it in Malaysia. After that,
They took you to Malaysia.
yes, it was wonderful. It was great. I was the bad guy, and would have been happy to do it again, but that didn't happen. Other movies, I did. I don't know if you remember her, Brittany Murphy.
Yeah. Oh, the late Brittany Murphy.
The late
Yeah.
Brittany Murphy. She was doing a movie called, I guess, Drive was the title of it. Mark Dacascos was the lead.
Mark, he's half Filipino, right?
Half? I thought he was full.
He was full?
Well, this is a Google search.
Okay.
But Mark was the lead in it, and it was sort of cybernetic. He had augmentation in his body, and they wanted him back, whoever created him. And so he was running away, and he meets some people. The script got kind of funky toward the middle, and Brittany Murphy, she became like the sidekick girl. She kept that storyline alive till they got back to the fighting again. And I mean, I had to acknowledge that there's in front of a camera. She's very interesting. She created. If those weren't her lines, if she wasn't making it up, then she used it well. But she was the most interesting part of that. In their little road story as they're going through their adventure. All the fighting that Mark does. But she kept it going for that middle part of the movie. She was very good. She was very, very good. And, I'm sorry that she's gone, but I got a sense of her talent. She was
nice person.
I never really dealt with her, but I saw the movie and, big respect for her ability. This is before her hair went blonde, before she lost weight and all that other stuff. But the talent was there.
What would you like doing more? Movies, theater, acting, writing, or directing?
Oh gosh.
5 categories.
5 categories. I think I would like to be. I am a writer who acts. My first step was to write, not to act or perform. I started performing. And then I went back to writing because I wanted to make sure I could work. So the creative journey was I would write like I was a kid. I would write comic books stuff. And then when I decided to try to be a performer and I went to acting school, I didn't write for while I was in college and into I went 2.5 years into acting school.
Right.
Then I said, let me try this writing again. And that was really good. And then when I made the move to Los Angeles and I was just sort of scuffling along, I got these graveyard shift jobs. And to keep my mind focused, I would write. I wasn't acting, but I was writing. So I see myself as a writer who acts. If it comes down to, if you had only one thing, I would continue to be a writer.
What do you what's your observation of writers now as opposed to when you were younger?
There are more platforms for a writer to not just write, but to write and let it be seen. I hear there are podcasts where people are reading their work. There are ways to write short story, scripts, screenplays, TV, copy for commercials, advertising. Writing is, a lot of people don't think they can write, so they hire people who they think they can. And if you get lucky, you can find a copacetic situation where people like what you do. Or at least they are user-friendly. And they don't cripple you with, take what you wrote and throw it into the trash can. Give me back my money. I don't like what you did. It can be horrific for a writer. Like, they get no respect.
Really?
But, when you're successful, I guess there's some respect. But I know of this writer. He is a theatrical professional. He leads a theater company. And he's very tough on his actors. He demands that work hard, be interesting. He's told actors, they're rehearsing something, he stops them. I don't care what's going on here. Come on, let's go.
Wow.
But he has made the observation that, I turn in a script and they'll treat me the same way. So, I don't know.
Wait, how about this? So let's say you're writing, you've written a play.
Yes.
But you're not a director.
No.
The director decides to change a page or two.
Oh, all kinds of kidney failure and heart attack happens. The idea is, if you like the script, then you'll do the script. And I mean, this is where the playwright and now we have issue. I've had that. I've walked in. They're doing our musical, and I'm hearing music that we didn't write, and lines that I didn't hear before. And I mean, these are college students, and you cannot do my work. And I guess I could have taken the hard line, but they're doing it. They're prepared to go through it. Let them finish, but I'm not going to let that happen again. That was like I was taught a lesson, and so that was why I have that kind of reaction. I've had that happen.
Wow.
I didn't like it, and
if there was a dialogue, would it have been different? Would your
I imagine so, or it's well, if you didn't like what we did, we'll do something else. We're creative people; we can do it. But the director didn't check with us. He just sort of went off on his own.
that happens in movies too, no?
Oh, more so. I mean, they will look at a script as a blueprint and guide. There's a movie, Black Rain. I do not think that the director or the actors liked the script, so there was a lot of improvisation. They knew what the intent was in the scene. We have to get to, you've got to discover that this person, there's something kinky about this person. So how do we, let's create something and make it at least more interesting than what was written on the page.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
What is it? The stage is the actor's medium. I'm trying to think where writers are strong. I think it's in TV. Writers, because the writers become producers.
Yes.
Directors come and go, but
maybe that's why some actors are also credited as producers, so they have control over.
well, yeah. If they've got enough juice to swing it, I think it was one of the Wayman brothers said there's some things I don't want to do, and when I'm also a producer or an executive producer, I don't have to do it. So it is a control of their destiny on a set,
right?
or a movie, or whatever. Their creative participation is only predicated if I get a piece of the action, and not necessarily financial. I would expect so too, but the creative input is I may not want to do this, and I want to be able to say I don't want to do this.
Because if you're not producer, you're paid to act. You have to do what's...
Well, if you're further down the line in the call sheet, then you must make the artistic choice. Either A, you're going to go with it, or B, you're going to walk away and live with it.
Right.
Those are creative choices. Some people say, well, what do you want me to do? Okay. I'll do it. Sure. I mean, I'm a hired actor. Okay, I'll do what you want. I don't agree with it, but I'll do it.
Right.
Or, no, I will not. This is not how I plan to do it. I did not sign up for this. I'm walking away. That is the collaborative process of movie making.
Damn. Oh, back to you. When are we going to see a project of yours on stage?
On stage? Good question. I hope soon, but I have observed a number of plays recently, and I've been sitting there thinking, how do I get my plays up there? And also, a stage play is not a book. Meaning,
Yes.
I once was doing a play reading. The project was this woman did an autobiography of her life. And she was making it into a stage play. And we were reading it through, the actors were reading it through. And she said, that didn't happen in my book. And I spent a lot of time writing this. And I did not participate in that conversation. I was an actor. But in my head, I'm thinking, she's written text, a biography in a book. And what she's called upon to do is convert it into a song.
Right.
It is that much of a conversion. So you may not get your favorite scene from your book. You may get an allusion to it because there's
Yes.
something more important in the staging that you want to have. But if you only know novel writing, then all you know is I spent like months on that one chapter. Where is it? And they don't. It does not compute. But they want to see it on stage, but it's not a song. You can't transfer your 300-page autobiography
Into a song.
Well, it can't be like that, or a symphony. It's going to have to change its nature.
Yes.
And the novelist has to come to peace with that. And some don't get it. I don't understand. It worked. People. I'm a successful novelist. Why can't you just put that on stage? Then maybe you want to do like a movie or an audio book or something. But to put it on stage, we've got 90 minutes. It cannot come in without transformation.
Yes.
And I have had to remind myself of that. I've tried to convert.
It's hard, no? Like for your novel, going to...
Well, I think, this is wonderful. I put that in there, but it may not be stage worthy. This is live performance and not even Shakespeare, well, they do it in Shakespeare, because they didn't have anything else. You can't. You got to. If you're going to go long with a lot of words, you better be interesting, because live is live, and if you drop intention or energy or the narrative line where people can't follow you,
there you go.
They'll start thinking about grocery lists.
Yeah,
they're buying groceries in their head. They're no longer.
And it's hard to bring them back. Yeah, that's true.
You may never get them back.
Damn.
So the transitions that an artist has to make between mediums, I think, is significant. Novel writing and playwriting are not the same thing. Novel writing is like data, interesting data, but it's a lot of individual stories and ideas and like that. Playwriting is like a song, and sometimes you hear the spoken word, to be or not to be. That is the question. You work rhythms, you work imagery, but that isn't in my novel. I don't understand.
I get it. So for your novel to be converted into a play, now we gotta pick up some chapters, some interesting things. Maybe write songs inspired by chapters in the book.
Inspired by, not verbatim. Yes. I tried to do that. I tried to. The more I talk about it, I realize I'm really clinging to the novel style and not transitioning to a song. So, though that'll take some time for me to make my own transformation. Also, I think there is something in a play. I just saw something, not a true story. 3 characters, 3 female characters. One is the original Madame Butterfly, and then the inspiration from that, which is, I think her name is Kim from Miss Saigon. And then there's this other woman who lived in real life, who committed suicide out in the elements because she thought that the Fargo movie might have been the real thing, and then she went out there and they found her body. The elements killed her, and these 3 characters sort of like encounter each other, and the 2 women saying, "But then your character, but I was inspired by your character, but we're characters. But do you have a last name? I can't think of it." And meanwhile, this 3rd woman, she is she has really lived. So what's going on with these 3 characters? And I will tell you, like, I'm afraid to mention the turnaround, which is ingenious, but it is very insightful. And it is a declaration that I'm wondering, maybe some plays require some kind of like declaration from the playwright about what they think is important. Right now, I've been writing. My novel is this adventure.
Yeah, like the
Narnia stories.
Yes.
Yeah. But do they make adventure stage plays?
That's expensive, huh?
Well, I don't
Lion
know.
King.
Lion King, but that the essential story of that is growth, rite of passage,
Yeah.
becoming the adult.
Right.
I don't know if I have that. I think it's kind of there, but does that make it stage worthy? I don't know yet. And
Like like Jumanji.
yes,
You think that could be a good stage?
it's a lot of fun, and
Because every part of the game is a different set design. No?
oh yeah, and there is what they call stagecraft.
Right.
You know, you can do magic on a stage. You can't do magic in film because a film you can really like disappear.
Yes.
In stage, you can create disappearance, but the audience will accept it.
Yes.
You know, they accept this, and I can't see you anymore. But you see the actor walking away backstage. But you let it go. You let it go because you understand this is live performance. I don't know. In the end, if we do it well enough, it doesn't matter.
Right.
You know, live performance, if you can, because I'm thinking of all these comedies. What is the declaration there? No, they just make people laugh. So what's going on with my story if I try to convert it to a stage piece? So why take the trip?
There is that. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And is it the message? What message are you saying other than an adventure? I did a piece. It was called Pinoys in Space. and it was based off a radio play.
Okay.
And it was an adventure. It was Vic, who was a cheerleader for the golf team, and his uncle Benny, who was a Manong, but he was like a fantastic uncle.
Yeah.
He had magical unting magic.
Okay.
And he was a professional yo-yo player, you know, and some eskrima skills. And they had this adventure. Aliens have come to Earth, and they're fighting it off. And they're having this wonderful adventure. There's this alien woman who is attracted to Uncle Benny, and many jokes. But there is an essence at the end, somewhere in the middle, where the question is asked, why can't there be Filipino heroes? Why can't there be? And the question is asked, and then they go back to adventure again. But that, to me, is the declaration for the play, and it's like it waved to me. It was like waving a flag. It's like, do you see that? Yeah. Why can't we be heroes too? And now back to the fun. The artist creates that stuff. I think primarily if you're the writer, and you're writing a stage piece, you got to do it. See, stage pieces are, for me, designed for communication to the audience. That's the whole point of it, is that relationship that the actors have with people out there.
Even without breaking the fourth wall.
Oh, you can break the fourth wall. There are different styles of that.
Okay.
Where, they do it in Shakespeare.
How about Hamilton? Did Hamilton break
all the time.
all the time?
They look straight into the audience, and they'll say their lines about this, that, and the other thing. They will do that. That's not at issue. At issue is, can you do it well?
Right.
And can you make it interesting? If you're interesting and entertaining, nobody cares.
But it's interesting what you said. Stage was meant to communicate to the audience, not to the audience.
That's why the pandemic crippled theater. It like wiped out theater companies, like whole collections of artistic companies, because our business is, you're a performer, you're a live performer.
No.
You could not go into nightclubs, and everything was closed down. For the live performing community, nobody worked.
Yes.
And it was going to be that way for a while, for like years. And restaurants closed down, performers closed down, theaters closed down, everything that required people.
Right.
closed down. But that is sort of the point of it, is that there are people. I have been in plays that were not successful. Like, I have performed for a row of people, period.
One row.
Like, if I got lucky. It was so small, like, oh, by the way, what's your name? You just introduce yourself. Hi, thanks for coming. Thanks very much. We appreciate you being here. We're going to do the show now. Because when you
My
just got
God.
those folks, well, you do the best you can.
Yeah.
And welcome them and give them the best show that you can muster. So that will test the performing artist. Hey, I don't perform for like 5 people. I'm sorry. No, I got to do better than that. Then they don't perform. Other people, that is sort of like the deal. The deal is to have somebody out there, whether it's 3 people, 4 people, a row of people. Just to have that communication is a deal. I remember I was teaching up in San Francisco. This is during the late 70s. And I was writing, but I was not performing. And I began to feel it.
Mm-hmm.
I began to feel like I got to get something. So I grabbed my guitar and I went out to Ghirardelli Square up in San Francisco,
Yeah.
and I picked up a part of the sidewalk and I just strummed some songs that I had written just to have the experience of singing to somebody.
Wow.
Just for that. Because I'm not, in my mind, I have not been a way successful performer. Despite that, I really enjoy that human contact and enjoy the interaction, even if they're just passing by.
Yeah.
So I get it when there's nobody there. And there was a time I was an artistic director of a theater company, and we weren't getting many people to come. And our theater was part of a much larger artistic complex. And I would go working, what is it, four stories. I work each story. You want to come see a play for free? You want to see it? Oh, we'll comp you if you're free. We've got plans and like that.
What?
Yeah.
Is that the reason why you moved to writing books, writing novels?
No, it was writing books and novels. I cannot remember when I made that decision, but I was performing while I was doing my research. I was doing a musical called Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah.
Well, I was playing Mr. Mushnick, and I get eaten 3/4 of the way into the play. So I have like maybe 20 minutes before I have to take the curtain call.
Yes.
So I was, when I died, I go up to my dressing room and I was reading this book on how to write fantasy. And, I was just like, okay, all right, okay, yeah, all right. Keep this in mind. Yeah, and said, all right, actors plays for the curtain call. And, put it away and then go out there and then take your bow and finish. So it isn't because I wasn't working as a performer. The idea that to write a novel, before then I was writing screenplays. I pride myself. I can write real fast. I can write. The month of October, I have had the experience of having to churn out 2 screenplays that I got paid for in October.
Wow.
Like the first one, I had to get it done in 10 days because they were going to take the script and pitch it at some film mart.
So that's a work for hire thing.
Yeah.
They own rights to that.
Yeah, no, this,
screenplay.
good luck and thank you for asking and paying me.
Yeah.
I remember dropping it off. It was 2 a.m. and I had the script and I slipped it under their placemat, welcome mat, and started on the next one. So I can write pretty fast. Writing a novel is not fast for me. And because I wrote such a big book, which was not my intention, but it's just sort of like that's how it came out, I can't like just do a turnaround. Like I'll turn you another chapter like by next month. Just the physical act of writing is takes time. It just takes time. So I've gotten into it. I've written 2 things since writing the first book. I discovered a novel that I wrote back in 1999. It was a detective mystery that where did this come? And then I would read it and I said, no, not bad. I was like, okay, all right. I mean, like to clean it up and fix what I think I can fix. And
So wait, written in 99 but unreleased?
well, yeah, I put it aside and worked on other things.
Okay.
I discovered it again, and I thought, I like this. I like what I did here. Okay, we will. I have all these other projects in mind, but we'll see. We will see. There are a lot of writers who are terrified of just sitting in front of a blank piece of paper and putting words to it. I remember I was a substitute teacher for a playwriting class that they were holding at the East West Players Theater. So I didn't teach the class. I was sort of subbed in. And the students there were the full range of people who had plays, and they were active. And other people who just, God, could you get me started? Just like whatever I can do. And so you try to create an environment that gives them a shot at expressing themselves, like in the old days, on paper.
Yeah.
Words to paper. That was back then. I don't know. I mean, do they bring in their laptops and do they just type up
away?
stuff? Yeah, I don't know how they do it now.
Amazing, though.
Oh, it is amazing, particularly when they get it. When something opens up, the door opens up.
And then they have the aha moment.
I think they have a lot of aha moments, but the aha moment comes with, and then they type it up. And then they print it out, and now you've got something.
Yes, that's the tangible.
So aha moments that are kept in your head are real safe. Because nobody can say, that's not smart here. You really shouldn't do that. Or try another idea. Nobody says that because you're keeping your secrets.
Correct.
It's very courageous to put it, print it out, and then share it with somebody. That sharing is very risky. It is, for some people, it is a terrifying thing. It is like, it came from your soul. You're giving it to somebody. Maybe it's your best friend, or maybe it's a stranger. And if they laugh at it, or they say, "I didn't understand. I don't know what you're saying," it can cripple you. I mean, in those private, personal ways that no bully could really cripple you.
Right.
Yeah. So, expression it's really important. People need to express themselves, particularly people who are writers. And I'll say this and then I'll move on, but if you've got it in you to write something, write something. Just do it.
Just write.
Yes. Put it down, write it up, and then look at what you've done and be amazed that you actually put it on paper. We would have writing exercises. Some people say, I don't know if I can write, but you do the exercises, you don't worry about it. Sometimes it isn't because they do not have a creative thought in their head. It is putting it down. It's very interesting. I've had acting students who have wonderful speaking voices but are terrified of singing.
Why?
I don't know.
Because if you told me of somebody who has a beautiful voice but is scared of singing, I'd understand. But if you have acting students who have beautiful voices but are scared of singing.
Oh, it is primal. And I I'm not a psychiatrist or psychologist. I don't know where that comes from. I have worked with people. This one woman doesn't sing, but she does sing. She sings in a chorus, so she can hide herself among other people.
But when it's her alone,
It doesn't happen.
oh,
Forget it. It's not going to happen. No way. I'm fascinated by it, and I don't have a silver bullet to fix it personally. I mean, I try to be encouraging. I have run into those people again, say a year or two has passed,
Right.
and they found a teacher who can unlock that, and now they are friendly with their voice. I think there is, in the singing mode, it's something personal, and somewhere in that, something traumatic that told them don't sing anymore.
ouch.
You know, you got a horrible voice. Don't do that. You know, and it sticks in their head, and they can speak fine, but they can't. Don't ask them to sing.
Limiting belief has been placed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
Filipinos don't have a lot of that
No.
problem. No.
We just sing.
Yeah, because it is a culture of singing.
I get it.
Yeah, like a culture like, yes, I did take piano lessons, but I fought it all the way.
That would be JJ.
Oh, see, I'm not alone. But musicality is cultural for us. Like, we get it,
Yeah.
and we sing it, and we will take any, if we can do it, we will sing. I had like a karaoke song somehow, but we had no microphone. But we had these earphones that when we plugged it into the right way, it became
The microphone.
Yes, and they would hold it and they would sing along, and I'm thinking that's not a mic, but it was a mic, and it did not stop them from singing. You know, and I'm thinking, no, karaoke's in the blood. They'll just do it. They'll find a way. It is amazing to me. In other cultures, you know, shh, be quiet. Don't speak, don't sing, and that is not our issue. No, we will, at a drop of a hat, even if it's a folk song, if it's
Whatever song it is, we will sing it.
and I think even the talking is a song. Like, how are you?
The intonation, no?
The intonation. They sing their voices.
Yeah.
You look so good today.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a song.
Yeah.
It'll go like, are you good? Look, you look good. Nice to see you. Huh? No, it is a sung phrase.
Did you eat na? See?
Exactly.
So if we're unstoppable, I'll land it here. If we're unstoppable in singing, right, and even conversing, will you ever stop writing?
We as a community?
You as Dom, will you ever tire yourself of writing?
I don't expect so, but I do remember that time when I didn't write. I was too busy living. I was too busy being an actor, memorizing lines, that at that point in my life, I didn't see the need for it. It was like something I did, but I did that in high school. I don't need to do it now. I didn't do it in college. I would do writing things like assignments, but I was not doing creative writing.
Yes.
Until I was left by myself, or I was in LA, and like the first couple of years, I didn't know anybody or knew few people. So I was left with my thoughts, and I found that I got to focus better when I took pen to paper. It was a technique for survival, for meditation, and creativity. And in some way, I found out that they were holding playwriting contest. So it was even a source. I got paid to write as a writer before I got paid as an actor.
Wow.
You know, and I mark it in my head. That's interesting. But maybe it's because in this particular place, They needed writers more than they needed actors. So, and in LA, we are all hyphenated people. So what do you need? Okay, I can do that. It pays, right? Yeah, okay. To make rent. These are things that you will do. Survival for the artist.
Any regrets?
I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. What's that from?
My Way. Ladies and gentlemen, Dom Magwili. I caught that.
Well, now we got to put that at the ending.
Yes.
I was like, oh my God.
That's it. We'll post a link in the description, guys, so you'll know where to get Dom's work, Dom's novel. Thank you.
Thank you.
Loved it.